We're artists, right? Must every piece that we create be a masterpiece? Must everything, I could have named this perfectionism. I could have gone with the vulnerable route that we were talking about in the group yesterday. I don't know, but it just a lot of my brother posted something where he was like, how do you get over that thing where you're like you feel vulnerable when you're showing the work that you made to a client, right? Especially if somebody's buying it, because then it's like, do you like it, right? So that's the thing that got the juices going in my head today, and then I was just like, does everything that we make need to be like this epic masterpiece? And one of the things that was also adding to this conversation for me was that I've mentioned I'm now making a comic book, right? And so it's Daily Fuel, not Daily Fuel. What am I talking about? It's called Fuel Blue, and Daily Fuel is this show. I'm getting my things mixed up. So anyway, it's called Fuel Blue. And so I've got the scripts going for the first couple of episodes, issues of this comic book. And of course, I'm just like writing it and rewriting it and rewriting it and rehashing it and crumpling it up and throwing it away. This stinks. It has no plot, right? And does it need to be a masterpiece, or does it need to just be the first one? Because hopefully the second one's going to be better, and then hopefully the third one's going to be better, and hopefully a year from now I'm going to be even better at it. But how can I get better at it if I make like the ultimate masterpiece the first time around? And I think that we're just so hard on ourselves, or if you're anything like me, because I am hard on myself, not on you. You can do what you do, but I'm so hard on myself. It's like I've got to create something amazing. So, is a masterpiece the goal of everything that we create? I hope not. I think that sometimes it's just a matter of getting to the creation. I think that the creation and the act of creating art, that's the masterpiece, and the rest of it kind of comes later. Or as Peter mentioned in the comments today, that sometimes masterpieces aren't labeled masterpieces until long after the artist is dead. So I don't need that. if it's gonna be a masterpiece, do it while I'm here so I can see it and know about it. That would be great. So, here are a couple of things that I was thinking of, is that really instead of creating something to be our next masterpiece, I would say just pay attention to the things that we can control. And here are a couple of things that we can control. Number one is we can practice. So, if we want to create masterpieces, if we want to create the best art in our genre or in our whatever, we need to practice. It's just like if you're a singer, clearly you're not going to get up on stage in the middle of an arena and sing a song if you haven't practiced in 2 months. So you're probably going to be practicing every day in the lead up to that. Well, it's the same thing if you want to create art for a client or for a gallery display or for anything that you're creating. You're going to want to practice and build up to it. Kirsten mentioned in the comments today that she likes what Ray does, where Ray will pick a person that she's drawing, but she'll draw lots of drawings of them just to kind of get the feel for that person until she comes up with her final sketch and drawing of that person. So we can all do things like that. The practicing is something that we can control. We have complete control over that. We can flex our muscles and we can just work on our art at our own pace. So there's that. The second one is working from your heart. We talk about this so much here, but I really think that it's worth repeating every day because it's easy to forget, right? I like to think of my art as having an audience of one. It has to be epic to me, And I have a feeling that some people are going to say, but what if I'm selling my art? Or what if what if it was commissioned? Or what if it's like what I'm making, a comic book? I'm going to want people to buy it and look at it and see it and like it. I want people to like it. Well, here's my take on that, is when you have an audience of one, meaning yourself, then it's going to be something that you like. And if it's something that you like, then people like you who like that stuff are also going to like it. And don't you want to attract an audience of people who like the stuff that you like to make? So if you make stuff that you like, then you're naturally going to attract an audience of people who like the stuff that you like to make. Whereas if you try to please some existing audience, like, oh, they like red, so I'm going to paint stuff that's red. That's a dumb example, but you know what I mean, right? Then now you're kind of stuck painting or singing songs or making art that those people like, even though it's maybe not exactly what you like. And here's a good real life example of that. I don't know if you've ever seen the show American Idol. Well, my wife and I watch it sometimes. We used to watch it more in the past. I got bored with it. But American Idol is the people sing, and then one of them wins, and America votes every week, and one of them wins at the end and gets a record contract. Well, when my wife and I watch that show, we pick the person or a couple of people that we like the most, and I always hope that the one I like the most comes in second. Because when the person that I really, really like wins the thing, well, they get a record contract, and all of a sudden now the industry comes in and says, hey, here's your look, and here's your song, and here's your first single, and here's the album that you're going to make, and the musicians you're going to work with, and here's what you're going to sound like. And have you ever heard of Kelly Clarkson? She's the person who won the first year of American Idol, like 15 or 16 years ago or something. And she completely broke up with American Idol after a while, and there was a whole lawsuit. She's like, I got to get away from you people, because she wasn't allowed to make the music that she wanted to make from her heart, which is why she went on the show in the first place. And she just felt trapped making, red paintings for those people because they would buy it, and they liked her voice enough and it fit the paintings, and you know what I'm talking about. And she was just stuck in this thing, because now instead of making art from her heart to attract an audience of people who actually love her, she was making art that fit an audience that was pre-made by an industry. And to me, that's part of the problem with pop culture and pop music and pop anything, really, is that you're trying to fit yourself into a prefabricated model. And, if you fit in it, great. If you're really into making pop music or pop anything, then that's amazing. That's wonderful. You can do that. There's no problem with it. But I am not that kind of musician, so I would never even go that route, because I know, God forbid I won that show. I'm going to hate it. I mean, yeah, the money is good and, and all the great stuff, but that's not why we do art. We do art because, maybe we want to make money from it, but don't you want to make money by selling it to people who actually love what you just love to make? So that's that. It's got to come from the heart. And the last one is being vulnerable, which really goes hand in hand, because when you're creating something from your heart, and I wrote this in my post yesterday, you're literally pulling your heart out of your chest. Not literally. That would be ridiculous. You'd be dead. You are figuratively pulling your heart out of your chest and just boom, 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 boom. Here, do you like this? And what if they don't? It can really hurt your feelings. But going back to the first one, the second one rather, is if you're creating from the heart and you're attracting an audience of people who love that, well then, showing them your heart becomes easier and easier and easier, because you're only bringing people around you who really do love it. And if there's a song or a painting or a statue or whatever you make that they don't like, they're not gonna pounce on you about it. They just might not love that one, and that's okay. I have favorite bands and favorite musicians and favorite artists or whatever, but I don't love every single thing they make. There's plenty of songs from my favorites that I don't even listen to. I just skip that song, but they might have loved that song, which is why they made it. So you can definitely get crushed. You can definitely get hurt. But I think that being vulnerable as an artist, just if you're worried about it, I don't think it's because you're making the wrong art. I think it's because you're showing it to the wrong people. So there's that. So coming back around to the whole masterpiece thing, I think that if you follow along with some of that, where, create from your own heart and practice your art so that you're working on it as often as you possibly can, and then finding that audience so that you can show it to them without feeling so vulnerable, or even if you still feel vulnerable, they're not going to crush your heart, then within that, even if it's a small group of people, everything can be a masterpiece because they love you. They love you. If you find an audience of people who just love what you do, then everything is a masterpiece. It doesn't mean it's going to be, in the Met or the Louvre, but that may not matter to you. And if it does, well then go in that direction, and you can build. Just because we're creating from the heart doesn't mean you're going to have a tiny audience. You can have an epic audience. I think you know what I mean. Anyway, so that's the deal. And I'm going to go to the comments. Let me see. So, lots of comments came in. Hector, Kelly, and Marcia, and Hector said yes, that was about the stars. Hector says, I am hard on myself at times. What helps me is involving my clients in my process. Oh, that's cool, yeah. My job in what I do is fastening things tight while expressing my art from the soul. That's cool. I think I understand what you mean. So it's like if you were commissioned, say, to create a thing, you could show it to them in stages or even like sketches or stuff. This way, it's not like, hey, here's the final thing. And even though they love you, they hate that thing. And it's like, So that nobody wants that situation. So that's cool. Audience of one, you're on point with that. Oh, thanks. Kelly says, my best stuff comes out when I make my inner critic sit in the corner silently while I create. I only ever let her see sometimes. Wow, I can't read this sentence today. I don't know why. And this isn't even your fault. It's not even a lengthy or poorly written comment. It's a perfectly written comment, and I just can't read it. I'm going to start over. My best stuff comes out when I make my inner critic sit in the corner silently while I create. Good. I like that. You could just tell that part of you, be quiet. I'm working now, and this is what we love to do. We collected the collective me, all the voices in my head, right? Shut up. We're doing this now, and we love to do this. Let's just do it and enjoy it. So I'm with you on that. Okay, I only ever let her see something once my heart has had a chance to express itself and love it first. Good. I like that. I don't know why that was so hard to read yet. Here we are. Hector says, American Idol, not a fan at all of those competitor shows. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not going to get into that. Somebody says, I'm here. Unfortunately, somebody is commenting that is not showing up. You also wrote, I think I'm done with the journey today. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. Maybe you clicked it before. There's that Ecamm thing where you got to give it permission. There's a link in the thing, and then your face will show up. You have to give Ecamm permission to show your face to me while I'm doing the live, because I'm not looking at Facebook. I'm looking at Ecamm. So somebody's here, and I don't know who it is. I'm sorry. And that happens to some of you guys sometimes too, even though you've done the thing before. So I don't know. If you just tell me who it is, and I'll say hi. Anyway, whoever it is, hi. But you can tell me who you are. Kelly says, my style of writing and the things that come out of me are constantly changing as I am evolving. Still trying to nail down an audience to create for would only serve to keep me stuck. Serve my heart with my art. Yeah, it's like... That's a really good way to put it. Okay, so if you try to create the audience, who do I want to create for? I want to create for these people. Now you've got to figure out, this is the business entrepreneur model, and this is why it never worked for me. Because a lot of times with entrepreneurs, they say, find an audience, find a need that they have, and then create something to fill that need, And it's like, okay, that makes sense for people whose core genius is solving problems for people. It's like I don't care what the problem is. That's not the thing. The thing for me is like solving it and putting it in front of an audience. I am amazing at that. Well, if that's your thing, then that's your art, But for us, most of us, as artists, we have a core genius of creating something that just comes out of us. But if we try to find an audience first, I bet these... I'm going to use music as an example. I bet these people who like this band will like my music too. So now I'm trying to create music that sounds like that other band, or that it fits in this genre that I think these people will like. But what if my tastes change and now next year I'm more into this other kind of music? You can really put yourself in a box, And so, yeah, I like what you said there. Hector says, today I finally finished the last commissioned artwork. I can now put my heart back in. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know you said at Christmas time, right? People hire you to do stuff. That's cool. I think I'm done with the journey today. I still don't know who that is. Bobby. It's Bob. Oh, it's Bobby. Okay, hey. You're a Bobby. I thought you were saying my name. That's funny. So I think I'm done with the journey today. Oh, the journey was your. So that makes sense now that I know that it's you, right? The journey was your pieces, your series. Anybody else, I would have thought that you were done with some journey. I wouldn't have known what that meant. But with you, I know what it means. Hi, Bobby. How you doing? Kelly says, lucky for all of us that you created that small little group where there's nothing but love to be found. Yeah, I know. It's a great little group. Yeah, Bobby, I don't know why you're not showing up, because you have shown up in the past. Marsha says, I believe in creating, you need to present. I believe in creating, you need to present a certain amount of vulnerability in your work, which makes you more approachable as an artist. Yeah, the vulnerability is sharing your heart in it. So I agree with you on that. And Bobby says, yes, that's how I am. The art comes out of nowhere and everywhere. A masterpiece may not even get appreciated or recognized until we're long gone. Yeah, it's true. You know, you never know. I always think of Van Gogh. He's my favorite artist and painter. And, you know, he died thinking he was a failure. Now when I go to museums, I seek his stuff out, you know, and I can just stare at it for hours. And my family gets annoyed and says, when are we getting lunch? So anyway, that's that. If there are no other comments, then Bobby, you can have the booby prize today. And unless somebody sneaks in, because I usually say goodbye and then talk for 5 more minutes and like 5 more people comment. So, all right. Anyway, that's yeah, like there's one. Oh, it's you still. And my best pieces come from my emotions. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, right. That's I guess you're saying like the same thing, but from my emotions or from my heart, right? It's really the same thing. All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. Friday is Christmas, so if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you don't, it's still Christmas, so Merry Christmas. Have a great day. And I will see you around. But I'm planning now to do another Daily Fuel on Saturday, but if I don't, then it'll be right back in next week. So we will see. But I'll be around. I'll be around the group. I'm here every day. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. This was a lot of fun, and I appreciate it so much. Have a great day. Bye.